So today, we are making a chickpea dish that is truly out of this world good. Like seriously, if you like chickpeas as much as I do, or chickpeas are not your thing, this is a dish you have to try and I promise it's gonna completely blow you away. We're talking Catalan spinach and chickpeas. Now this is a recipe that hails from the beautiful region of Catalunya in northeastern Spain, where it's known as garbanzos con espinacas a la catalana. And let me tell you, it's got so many great flavors to it. It's sweet and savory. It is absolutely delicious. But the best part is how easy it is to put together and that it's all done in just 30 minutes, folks. Serve this dish next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine from the wine region of Priorat, which is located in Catalunya. You're gonna have yourself one heck of an amazing meal. Let's begin by grabbing a large deep fry pan. You can also use a stock pot here if you prefer. Heat it with a medium heat and add in about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 45 milliliters. Then I'm going to grab about a quarter cup of raw blanched almonds, which is 35 grams, and immediately add in the almonds into the pan with the olive oil. And you want to make sure to mix the almonds around continuously, that way they evenly saute. And let me tell you, it's very important to add the almonds into the pan right after you add the extra virgin olive oil. If you wait to heat that oil and then add the almonds into the pan, they can easily brown, which can give them a bitter flavor. After about 3 minutes and the almonds are lightly sauteed, I'm going to remove them from the pan and transfer them into a mortar and then set it aside. Now using the same pan with the same heat, I'm going to add in 2 shallots that I thinly sliced and 6 cloves of garlic that I roughly chopped. And once again, you want to make sure to mix these ingredients around continuously, that way they evenly saute. After about 2 minutes, and the shallots are starting to become translucent, and that garlic is lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in half a cup of tomato sauce, which is 115 grams, and then mix it all together. As always, the tomato sauce that I'm using, I made by finely grating tomatoes, but you can also use canned tomato sauce here, or even passata. While the tomato sauce is simmering, let's move back to the mortar with the almonds. I'm going to pinch in a quarter teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams. As always, I'm using saffron threads from Golden Saffron. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. We'll also add in 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley, which is 8 grams, and a little pinch of sea salt. And using a pestle, pound down on the ingredients until all the almonds are mashed into small pieces and then set it aside. And let me tell you, for this step, you can also use a food processor. Alright, let's move back to the tomato sauce. It's been simmering for about 3 minutes, and as you can see, it's slightly thickened up. For the next step, I'm going to add in 10 ounces of fresh spinach, which is about 300 grams, and I like to add it in there in 2 batches, that way it doesn't overcrowd the pan. And you want to make sure as you add the spinach that you mix it around, that way it easily wilts. Now the spinach that I'm using in this recipe, as always, is fresh bagged spinach. I love this stuff because it's pre-cleaned and pre-cut, but to make this recipe, you can also use frozen spinach. You just make sure you fully thaw it out and then pat it completely dry. Once all the spinach has been added and it's fully wilted, I'm going to add in 2.5 cups of cooked chickpeas, which is 400 grams, a quarter cup of raisins, which is about 40 grams, and we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a gentle mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together. Now the chickpeas I'm using in this recipe, as always, are jarred chickpeas, which is the same thing as the canned ones, and I did add them into a sieve beforehand and rinse them under some cold running water. Once everything is well mixed, I'm going to add in 1 cup of vegetable broth, which is 240 milliliters. The broth that I'm using is homemade. You'll find a link on how to make it in the iCard above and description box below. Of course, you can also use water here, but by using that broth, it really gives it a beautiful depth of flavors. And we'll also add in our reserved almond mixture. And we'll give this one final mix, that way everything's evenly mixed together. And And we're gonna simmer this on a medium heat between 5 to 7 minutes. This is enough time for the saffron to infuse, for the raisins to become tender, and for all the flavors to develop. After about 5 minutes, and as you can see that broth has reduced in half and all the flavors have developed, this dish is ready to go. I'm gonna remove the pan from the heat, and we'll transfer some of the mixture into a shallow bowl. Check it out, our Catalan spinach and chickpeas is done. Once again, this is known here in Spain as garbanzos con espinacas a la catalana. Such a beautiful recipe that's easy to make, has so many great textures and flavors in there, and the best part, came together in just 30 minutes. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. You know, for a person like me that truly loves chickpeas and can eat them almost every day, this is a dish I'm so excited to try. Seriously, look how beautiful it turned out. Got a little bit of everything. Here we go. It's not fair. For you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm at a loss for words here. There's so many great flavors and there's so much savory goodness. But then at the end, you get the sweetness from the raisins. It's like, pow, such an incredible explosion of goodness, folks. You saw this very classic dish from the region of Catalonia, so easy to make. In my opinion, one of the greatest chickpea dishes that not only hail from Spain, but possibly the world. Give this a try at home and I promise you're gonna absolutely love it. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Edward J. Garrison, David Houston, Bert and Melissa Del Rio, Brett Saunders, Tandy Irvin, and Paul Whitfield. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.